Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be doing the Amora pouch, and for this one I want to show you how I print and also cut the pattern pieces out. And the reason why I'm showing you that is because some people actually want to buy the patterns and all, but they do not know how to cut the pattern pieces. So the first thing is to scroll to where your pattern piece are, check the pages. So for this one, I've checked the pages. They are the last 3 pages of the PDF. And for this select page option on the print, after clicking Ctrl P to print your pattern, I change the select pages to the pages that has the pattern and the cutting label, because the cutting label is always before the pattern. Then I change the printing to A4 because I want it to be printed on A4, and now it is printing out. Oh, you should also print it at 100% or actual size. So yeah, it's all printed now, and I'm going to take this to the cutting table and then cut them out. So see the way I'm cutting it, because this one has arrow. That arrow is written on the pattern that you should match identical arrows, identical patterns that has arrows together, like matching those arrows. You can see now it's now forming the whole pattern. So yeah, after matching it like that, then I use sellotape to tape them together without overlapping them. I'm not going to overlap them, because if I overlap them, it won't be complete again, right? So after taping it together, of course, I will cut it as I am doing right now. So I'm cutting it on the line, not outside of the line, not inside the line, just on the thick line. So after that, we have the pattern, and you can still see that this pattern, it has fold. So that place that has fold, you can fold your material into 2 and then place the fold on it, making sure that the one under, right, is also like full, like the one on top. It has to be full. Or you can just place it one, cut one like this. I mean, draw one like this, right? After drawing, then you flip it. You flip that fold place. Flip it, matching the first line that you have placed it on. Then draw it again, as I am doing right now. Then you cut it out, and that is your pattern. That is your pattern piece, right? So I've also gone ahead to use the cutting label to like draw the rest of it. The cutting label, they are like rectangles and all that. They don't exactly need pattern pieces, because there are things that you can just use your ruler to draw. Things like 2x1, 5x4, you know, things like that. So after doing that, you also see on the cutting label, it doesn't only have the measurement, it also has how many things to cut and what to cut. For example, you see the one that says cut to exterior. This one says cut to exteriors. So because you're to cut to exterior, you take your exterior panel or your exterior fabric and then cut to, right? And anywhere that says cut, this one says cut to lining with the pattern. This one doesn't have measurement because it's a pattern, it's not rectangle. So I've cut it like that, and then my zipper pocket is also cut to lining. I've also cut that, and yeah, and we also have zip, things to cut on the zip. We have the main zip and the pocket zip. So yeah, that's it, guys. So let's get right into it. So we're going to do the main panel first, and this is the connector panel. I'm going to fold it to the center to meet the center line using glue. I'm using glue now, but you can use double-sided tape. And then I will sew the 2 long edges with a 1/8 inch seam allowance like this. And then I'm going to slide in a D-ring towards the middle of it and then clip it. Use a clip to clip it in place, and then I'm going to sew that short raw edge with a 1/8 inch allowance again, like this. Now I'm going to draw a 3/4 inch line from the short edge. Now set that line on the connector on the side edge of one of the main panels, 1 inch from the top edge. Now the top edge is going to be one of the longer edges. Now set it like this and then clip it in place. Then I will repeat the same thing for the other side. So now I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and baste it with a 1/8 inch seam allowance from the edge of the main panel, of course. Now take one main panel piece right side up, which is the same one we have been working with, and then draw a line down the center from the shorter edge. Now we're going to mark the center of that line. And since it is 11 inches long, the center is 5.5 inch. So after marking the center, we'll go ahead and mark 1/8 inch from the center. So you can see that's really small. Then again, we'll mark is 0.75 inch from that center. Then again, we'll mark 3 inches from the center as well. So 1/8 from the center, 0.75 from the center, and 3 inch from the center. And I will repeat the same thing for the other side of the line, like the other half of the line now, because I've done it for only one half of the line. This is the second half of the line. Now I'm going to, in the pattern, I labeled the 1/8 inch mark A, I labeled the 0.7 inch mark B, and then the 3 inch mark, I labeled it C. So now we'll take the A mark and then press it or fold it now towards the B mark. We'll also do the same thing for the C mark. We'll press it towards the B mark. Now, depending on the thickness of your material, you can use pin to hold these in place. But because my material is pretty thick, I'm using super glue to hold it in place. If you have that, you can use it. If you're using like a pretty thin material, super glue might not even hold it. You can just use your pin. So now I'll repeat the same thing for the other side because I've done it for only one half of that line. I'm going to fold the A mark to meet the B. That's the 1/8 inch mark to meet the 3/4 inch mark. Then I'm going to take the 3 inch mark as well to also meet the 3/4 inch mark. Now all this is to form the bow shape because we want this bag to, it's literally a bow bag, right? The bag itself is bow. So that's what we are trying to form. Now take this to the sewing machine and sew on the center line you drew from the very first step to hold all of the pleats in place. Then we'll repeat the same thing for the second one. So this is it, it's all done. Now we'll take our binding piece wrong side up and then draw a line down the center of the long edge. Now we'll fold the long edges to meet the center line. I'm using glue now, but you can use your double-sided tape to hold it in place. So once that is all done, I will take this to the sewing machine and then sew the two edges, the two long edges now with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. I'm going to clip this to my main panel without letting it sag at all. Like, it has to be flat, really flat on it, right? Then you will see that it's like it has some excess on the two short edges. Don't worry about the excess, just leave it like it is, and then sew the binding to the main panel 1/8 from the edge of the main panel as it is now. Then we'll repeat the same thing for the other side as well. So now we are done with that step, and then now step 3, zipper pockets. So first we draw the zipper window rectangle on one of the lining panels using the indication on the lining pattern piece. Now in the middle of that rectangle, we'll draw another line. This line should start and stop 3/8 inch from the ends of the rectangle. And then at the end of the center line, we are also going to draw a line to each corners as I am doing right now. So now we lay the zipper pocket wrong side up and then draw 3/4 inch line from the long edge of the zipper pocket. Now I'm going to press that edge to meet the line. You can use your iron to press it to meet the line, and this will become the bottom of the zipper pocket. Now I have marked the middle of the zipper pocket, and I am going to set the zipper pocket on the lining panel as I am doing now, 1/2 inch from the top edge of the lining and then centered. So now pin it in place. So I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and sew around the zipper rectangle. So now cut the center line and along the lines into the corners as close to the stitches as you can without cutting into them. Please do not cut the stitches because that is going to ruin the whole point of it. Now after cutting that, pull your zipper pockets to the wrong side of the lining panel and then press it flat. Make sure it is laying flat and away from the zipper opening. So now we're going to press it flat. Make sure it is flat, and then we have to install our zipper pull at this point. It is very important. And then on the wrong side of the lining panel, you're going to tape your zipper right side up and centered over the zipper window as I am doing right now. So make sure the zipper is centered on that zipper window. It should look like this. Now take this to the sewing machine and on the right side of the lining panel, top stitch the entire way around the zipper, 1/8 from the edge of the rectangle. So now once this is done, take on the wrong side of the lining panel, place the other zipper pockets right sides together with the already sewn zipper pockets and clip them together, and then fold back your lining so that you don't sew on it, and then sew up one side edge across the bottom, across the top edge now, and down the other side edge with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Do not sew the bottom edge yet. Now we are moving to step 4, zipper tape, the main zipper tape. Now draw a center line on the wrong side of the zipper tab. Fold each side in half towards the center and press. Then fold the tab in half again and then press. Now slide the zipper tab, the zipper tab now into the ends of the zipper tape. Now this zipper tape should have your zipper pull already, and then we'll take this to the sewing machine and sew with 1/8 inch seam allowance from the edge, from the folded edge, inner folded edge. Now cut the excess away and then mark the center of the zipper tape. Now after marking the center of the zipper tape, now place one main panel right side up and align the main zipper right side down on top of it and clip it to the top, one of the top edges. Now base that in place with 1/8 inch seam allowance. So after that, align one lining panel right sides together with the main panel that has the zipper tape, and then clip to hold it in place. Use clip to hold it. Now sew with 1/4 inch seam allowance using a zipper foot. Okay, so now press both panels away from the zipper so that they are wrong sides together, and top stitch along the zipper seam with 1/8 inch seam allowance. Top stitch only where the zipper starts and stops. Now we're going to repeat the same thing for the remaining main panel, the remaining lining panel, and the other side of the zipper tape, as I am doing now. It's the same thing we've done in the last few steps. Now for the second top stitching, we also top stitch it the same way, starting and stopping where only where the zipper tape is. And the reason why we are doing this is to have a very neat top seam at the end, the side seam, so that it will be very neat. So now this is what it looks like. And step 5, to assemble the pouch. Now unzip the main zip so that it will be easy to turn the pouch right side out after sewing. Now clip the main panel right sides together, making sure that the zipper seam match. Also clip the lining panel right sides together, matching all the raw edges. So now we're going to sew from one side of the lining panel all around the main panel to the other side of the lining panel with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. With a 3/8 inch seam allowance. So after sewing this, we're going to turn the pouch to the right side. Turn the pouch right side out through the opening in the lining, of course. Now, bring out the bottom edge of the lining panel through the opening in the zipper pocket and then clip it in place. Now, depending on the kind of material you use, this might be a little tricky. Now, sew the edge of the bottom edge of the lining now with a 3/4 inch. I know that's very, very big, but it is to have a nice fitting to your lining. So we have to sew it with a 3/4 inch. And then we'll now trim it down to maybe 1/4. Yeah, 1/4 is right. Trim it down to 1/4 inch seam allowance. Then we return this, we push this back to its place, and then bring out the bottom edge of the zipper pocket. Now we'll clip that in place and also sew with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. So we push it back to its place, and the bag itself is done, and we move to the last step, which is the strap panel. So we take the strap panel and then draw draw a line, right? 3/8 inch from each short edge, and also draw a center line too down the long edge. Now we're going to fold the long edge to meet that center line using glue or double-sided tape. Remember that your glue or double-sided tape should not touch the 3/8 inch line on the shorter edges. We do the same thing for the two strap panel, because we have two strap panels. And then we're going to hold the short edges right sides together and then clip them in place and sew it on that 3/8 line. So now I'm using glue now to fold open the seam and then pressing them in the right place. But you can also use your DST, your double-sided tape. Now fold the piece wrong sides together, making sure that each seam is at 1/2 inch from the short edges. And then of course your swivel hook should be at each short edges, and then use clip to hold them in place as I am doing right now. Now we're going to sew the long edges with a 1/8 inch seam allowance, and of course on the short edge as close to your swivel hook as your machine can allow, And yes, we are done with our bag. This is it. You can admire your bag. And thank you for watching.